Up, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, day traders, closet swing traders. Hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic. It's gonna be a good day. It's going to be a good day, and I know for a fact. I can say I don't like to say I don't like to be out here stating, hey, facts. This is definitely happening or not. But I will tell you, I will make the accept. It is definitely going to be a good day, and I could tell because today when I was making some eggs this morning. I cracked the shell. I didn't have one yolk. I had two yolks in my eggshell. And I'm not superstitious, but I am a little stitious. So it is going to be a good day. And then we got some Altria dividends dropping into the portfolio. I'm feeling good. I don't even care about PPI. I'm feeling good. Doesn't matter. Does not matter. All right, let me get a screen share going of some charts. We got Albert in the house, Bill, Brian, D is joining us. We've got Daniel, Dave, Doug, Fayaz, Jenny, GW, Jake, Jay, Jennifer, Jill, Jose, JT, Kyle, Matt. We got my boy Michael Stanley. We got Mike Chadwick, Peter, Quantran, Rick. Like if I say all these names really fast, it's a serious tongue twister. We got Sam, Tanya, Wesley, Will, Yavaris. We got all my friends on YouTube. Oh yeah. It's gonna be good. Going to be a solid day. Let's start off with the actual markets. PPI, it did come in hot as far as the number goes. The market took a negative turn to it. And I do think that for this market to turn, we need some kind of actual good news, like something good. A lot of the moves that happened in the market or happened lately it's not as bad. If we're getting it's not as bad scenarios, it's not as bad type news. That's not going to give us a bigger directional change in the market at all. But what it will do is the fact that we are just so heavily sold off. This was my thesis, at least last night when I was doing the afternoon room. We are just sitting on one big pile of gasoline, and we just need that little spark, something to come in, and we saw it with the fake Russian news that came out about Russians looking for diplomacy, and that caused a relatively decent move for a short period of time until we found out that the article is completely made up. And obviously that was just a garbage article that came out just filled with nonsense, but that was enough to get the market to move solidly. So I did buy calls yesterday. It was looking real good prior to PPI, and then PPI comes out, smacks everything down. I think Powell getting fired would actually probably be a negative for the market. Only because the market they don't like uncertainty. And I think we at least know his personality. Now we gotta have to figure out the stock market plus read all the sentiments of whoever's taking over for Powell. I don't know. So, and the play that I did pick up calls yesterday to the very, very end of the day, with that thesis of we just need that little spark. And I think we're good to maybe not make a whole directional change. That can only really happen if we have actually good news. I think we still have a good 6 to 12 months of that, but just kind of looking for some kind of a new leg up, retrace, something to that aspect. I think the markets were pricing in for CPI about a 5% move in either direction. So if you guys do the math on that to the downside, if those numbers come out bad, we probably have tomorrow about 340. And then we have about 374 to the higher side. If those numbers come out, that's what the market's pricing in. Doesn't mean it has to get there, no, but that's pretty much where the market is sitting at. So it's going to be a big day tomorrow. That brings us to today. Why live in the future when you can live in the moment? We are still, even with the PPI, we are still up slightly. It is definitely coming down a little bit. I wouldn't even be surprised to see us sell off today as well, but we're just really holding yesterday's close. I think it's almost a do nothing day. We have a high wave indecision. If that breaks to the downside, yep, definitely that's a bearish sentiment, and we don't have any support really holding us up. I don't think we break to the higher side. We're probably more than anything range bound for today, just kind of waiting on CPI to come out and tell us which direction we're going to move. Let's take a look at some of the individual stocks. There is a few nice gaps today. Yep, I agree, Mike, for sure. All right, we got Delta not doing too much of anything. Extremely bearish candle yesterday. The only saving grace again for Delta is the fact that we did come down to this VPOC. Right now, we're sitting in between roughly two VPOCs. Not much room to go on Delta. Probably won't be the best risk reward. Will not qualify for the 10 EMA. So probably going to leave that one as usual. We got Amazon did looks a little bit similar-ish kind of to the SPY itself. We did come down and retest that last VPOC that we had to. That was yesterday, or at least in the worst case, we got very close to it with this high wave. We're still sitting above yesterday's VPOC. So I'd like to see 112.01 hold. To the higher side, if we could make any type of a bullish move, it's going to be a tight range move, probably 113.68. So I can't make much happen with that. Also, inside candle. So for a 10 EMA play, we'd have to at least sit on our hands, and I think probably till about 10:30 on that one. I don't see anything really crazy. Delta has earnings tomorrow. Whew, that is the worst day to have earnings. Especially if you have bad earnings, even if you have good earnings, but CPI is bad, it doesn't matter what you do then. You could have the best earnings ever, and you'll probably still tank if CPI is bad. We will see. Apple looks very, very weak still. So again, we are slightly above the close of yesterday. We're just trying to hang into a double bottom on Apple. However, yesterday's VPOC, 139.99. We have 140. This is not a bad risk to reward play if you want to take it. I'd be pretty much trying to buy it, especially if we dip somewhere at the open. Buy it up, have a stop somewhere right at 137.63. If it breaks 137.63, again, zero support. That means that double bottom's breaking down. I wouldn't really want to be in it at that point. So maybe just on a pure, nothing else but risk to reward. Maybe we get a sell-off candle at open, something like that. We could break some kind of pre-market levels. Any way to figure out where your entry would be, but we have a defined stop for sure. That'd probably be the only case. But again, inside day for Apple. We got NVIDIA not doing too much on the vid. Again, we are slightly positive still, which in the worst case, again, most of these things are still slightly positive. That means we're, at least for now, surviving the PPI, right? Obviously, it took us down a whole heck of a lot, but still hanging in slightly above. I think there is still slightly a little bit more bullishness feel, but again, inside candle, probably going to be an inside day for NVIDIA. I don't see too much of a breakout happening on that one. AMD, inside day, another high wave candle that we put in, and we are positive on this one from yesterday's close, but we have 57.74 is going to be a key level. 58.05 is another key level. So even to the higher side, unfortunately, your risk to reward is still probably to the short side. And then we got my boy Tesla. 50 cents higher than close. It's a good old college try. Leo says, what is CPI? That's the consumer price index. So the entire market is based, it's a good question for anybody that doesn't know. The entire market right now, biggest worry in the market is inflation. So the CPI number is the inflation number that comes out. That is the number that the Fed is going to be looking at very, very closely to determine if they're raising rates, or I should probably say how much they're raising rates. And the more that the Fed raises the rates, the more expensive money becomes. The Fed is trying to induce some kind of a pullback into the market because inflation's running rampant. They want to make money more expensive. They want to calm down the demand side of things. So CPI is going to be huge. Thor might be running. We'll take a look at that one as well. So Tesla, again, not a lot holding up. If anything, I'd have to continue this one down short. It still has some room that it has not got down to. That's somewhere in the 211.25 zone. That should be our strong support. I'll set a notification here. So again, if you could make a trade work into 211, if the entire market ends up falling apart, maybe this one breaks and won't have any support after that. But that's going to be an area that I'm going to set an alert to buy. If I could get somewhere at 211.33-ish, 211.24, somewhere in that zone, my stop is at 206. All right, so be it. If you want to stop me out and create new lower lows, I'm okay with that risk. It's good risk reward at that point. Cindy says, put your chats on everyone instead of host and panelists. I do agree. All right, we're outside of the 6 stocks. We do have First Solar, though. That's not really doing too much. mRNA, pretty beautiful gap on this one. The only concern that I have with this one, it is a good gap, is that we are starting to get into a little bit of this resistance. But otherwise, yeah, you are trapping a decent amount of the most attractive thing of mRNA, and the thing that might act as a reason to not be so worried, even though we are in resistance, a little bit of resistance, is the fact that we're breaking out of this candle. That's our highest bearish volume candle. So that means anybody in this thing that sold, shorted, those guys are all trapped. We even have a gap and go from yesterday. So mRNA, they are on my list for today, where I will definitely be watching them very, very closely. We have a little bit of a double bottom, higher lows. It's a pretty big move. That's a caveat. I don't love trading. That's a good $16 move, 16 and change, something like that. But we did break out of that high volume candle. So that is going to definitely be one. I think we are trapping some shorts. You actually had a good potential almost double bottom here, higher lows. That got broken down. That's where the volume came in. People started freaking out. A lot of people started shorting. They're probably on for the ride. You had a couple bullish days, but nothing really to, I mean, even that was just a retest into the bottom of that candle, right? And that's probably another reason people might want to lean short. And then all of a sudden you have this gap up. So we will see on that one. THOR says Maddie R. THOR. THO, changing it up. So Zero says, well, Cash for Houses basically says, can we afford food or not? Depends on what you're eating. If you eat cans of tuna all day, you might still be able to hang in there. If you're eating the fillets, you might want to cut back. Red meat's not good for you anyway. CR0 says dollar might get weaker and break the trend line soon. I think there will be a point where the dollar gets weaker. I just don't see when. There'll be, and when the dollar gets weaker, that will be good for stocks, believe it or not. I just don't know when that happens. I feel like it should have happened 3-4 weeks ago. But yeah, it's tough to go long on the dollar at this point. But again, you're still seeing a lot of major issues in the UK and all over globally. And the US dollar has been holding up pretty decent. Dude, all day, Mr. Moneybags. THO increased the dividends, quarterly dividends. All right. Yeah. Anything dividend? We saw that at the open of yesterday. Anything dividend related, safety plays, defensive plays for portfolios, they were running yesterday. I don't really see where this one's even. I don't even see a thing for pre-market on my screen, so I'm not sure if am I missing something on THO. Unless this is like gapping to $1 million, I don't see anything. No pre-trades on it. Yep. Yeah, for day trade basis, probably not. For long-term investing, even if you wanted to. So we have the 90-day program going on, day trading program going on right now. We were looking at this very similar chart, not this stock, but very similar chart. 1, 2, 3, 4 days in a row of buying. Is this really the day you want to buy THO? I don't think volume comes in. I've never day traded this one in my life, ever. But for me, I either be okay missing it or have some kind of entry order. Maybe trying to catch it somewhere around 72.99 would be a much better catch that retest, and then maybe it does continue to go. It does have a double bottom. I think at some point we get that pullback and then possibly move on from there. We got Hector in the house. What's up, Hector? There was another ticker, Bros. Little bit of a gap down. Gap up. Into a little bit of resistance. I would love to see a pullback. This is also a retest gap, but at minimum, I would love to see a pullback into the $30.23 range, maybe slightly higher, $30.26 range. It's an okay gap. It's not horrible. The problem with Bros is you have a lot of resistance starting somewhere at $31.67 into $32.01. So I don't know. You even have a little bit of support. That support typically should become some kind of resistance. I think what I would love to see is actually for me to go short on this one. And again, if there's a range in there, and I just don't know, it's going to be a tight setup, tight trade. But getting in at maybe seeing some kind of a higher move into that resistance a little bit further, and then short from there would be fantastic. I don't know if that comes in though. I don't know. Mark says, what is the 90-day trading, or where is the info on that? So that already started. That is a course that we're running. It's like a 90-day almost boot camp for started last week. Moderators have we have different people teaching each week, and basically we go from 0 to hero in 90 days. And then at the end of the course, or the last 2-3 weeks of the course, everybody does get a $100,000 funded account as well with it, so that not only do the people taking the course have education of, well, number one, what stocks are, how to get stocks, how to buy stocks, what kind of entries. We all have a system and game plan, very strict kind of protocol throughout the entire course. But now you would also end it with a funded account too, so that you're able to apply everything to a decent size account. And really the entire idea is that everybody is kind of set up in the 90 days to be on a successful track. But that one is ending, I think, December. I believe the plans are to do it in the future again. I just don't know when or have any details. A funded OG, a demo account. Peter speaking in Denmarkish. That's the language, right? Denmarkish. It's a funded account. Yep. You get so right now everybody's set up with a assessment account, which is legitimately just to play around with. It does not count toward audition. It doesn't count. It's a special thing that we had to get the broker to approve, just so people have access to learn the ins and outs of the broker. Then everybody will get a full funded account, which you have the audition stage first, and then the same rules apply. Once you pass the audition, then you go into the full funding. I didn't know. Yeah, DJ has a lot of multiple talents. That's why I can speak Denmarkish. Mm-hmm. What other tickers? What other things are moving that you guys want to take a look at? We got Patrick in the house. What is up, Patrick? We looked at MRNA. Oh yeah, A, B, and B for Jose. Airbnb. It's kind of just been in this range for a little bit. It's having a very difficult time breaking out of this big, massively bearish candle. We were making some good moves, but this candle took us from 113.82 all the way down to, that's a $10 move in one day. That's pretty dramatic. We've been making higher lows. However, all of those higher lows, higher gains, even in this setup, I can kind of see a 5 wave count to some extent. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Almost even looks like a little bit of head and shoulders as well. So some kind of neckline. I would think on this one, it looks a little bit more short than it does long. I would probably want to get in at a retest. So if this thing comes back up, I would look for some kind of a short. Let's see what price that is. I'd be looking for a short somewhere around the, I'll go even a little lower, 107.90 zone to get in short. And I'd be looking for throwing a stop up for 111.80. So that gives you about $4. This is the daily chart too, so just keep that in mind. You can come a little bit lower. Honestly, if this candle breaks, the trade's probably done. You could probably get like 111, yeah, probably 111.15, 111.08, somewhere in that zone would be where I throw my stop. Should not get up there if you're going bearish, but I would think something like this could happen. We fade up, we get triggered, and then we're looking for another level down. My valuation on what a good price is, especially because right now, this is not the hype. We're out of the hype market. If you guys remember 2020, we were in a hype market. We were in you find a cute little dog coin and everybody starts talking about how great it is, and it's the stupidest thing ever, but yet it goes up in valuation like crazy, right? Or price. I shouldn't even say valuation. Just the price goes crazy. Everybody buys, everybody wins. Though that market is gone. This is the market where we have to find good valuations. We want low PE ratios on stocks. We have to bring back fundamental investing to survive in this market. This is not a buy anything on dip type market. Yeah, back in the day, bad earnings, bullish moves. It was a good earnings were bad. It was crazy. And I was literally, I'm like, I got to be out of my mind. I don't know. The second that they thought of maybe the Dogecoin isn't that bad, crossed my mind. That's when the therapy lesson started. But we're not there. So find companies if you're trying to invest in things. I'm not talking about trading. We can trade anything with a chart, but you want companies that actually make money in this type of market. You want companies that have been around for a little bit. You want some safety with some good growth. That's what you're trying to do. A lot of, I don't know if anybody's on Fundrise or not. They sent out a quarterly email update yesterday just on the housing market in general, just about the portfolio compared to the stock market, yada, 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 the same stuff that anybody would send. But it was pretty interesting. It was pretty interesting. It was find real assets, find something with safety. The market in this, when we know that the Fed is inducing recessions, the idea is it's not how much you can make. That mindset's gone. It's how do I protect my money? How do I, if I lose 5% and the entire market's down 35%, guess what? I'm killing it. It's weird to think about. It's weird to think about. Yeah, by the way, buy everything, GameStop and AMC. Don't stay away. Any of the memes, I think any of the Wall Street bet stocks are done. I don't think, maybe there'll be a day. I'll put GMC, GME. There'll be a day where we get back to the hype works. People pump things like crazy on social media and they're looking for the next hedge fund to take down and wild times in our lives. We'll get back there. There'll be a point. That could be past that could be 3.5 years from now. Find companies with good valuations, right? In the trading world, find good charts, find things with sentiment. You can trade anything. I'm not trying to scare people away from day trading, swing trading. The charts will still work. The sentiment will still work. I'm talking about investing. Like, you could get Peloton cheaper. I promise. Peloton will be cheaper at one point if you must have it. Yep. 2 good stocks from Cindy. Agreed. Yeah, Pepsi, I think, had some news. I think Pepsi had earnings today, actually. Yep. So there you go. Pepsi gapping up 162.59 to 167.78. Strong move into a little bit of longer term resistance. This is not one that I usually day trade because it is very blue chippy, but this would be an example, right? The things that are going to hang in there longest, Pepsi, even Coke looks a little bit weaker than Pepsi, but still Coca-Cola. They're not going to go anywhere. They're well capitalized. Even Apple to some extent, but technically they're more in the tech field. I would still wait for better pricing, wait for that PE to come down before I get into Apple. But if they do, yeah, I'll pick up some more Apple, some MO, ABBV. Those type of companies are going to survive, come out a lot stronger. And I can guarantee you, if you're thinking any of these other companies, you're going to have some FOMO on, and you don't want to miss these historically low prices, which they're not. I mean, even Meta, Facebook, advertising is going to get crushed in these type of markets, right? If we hit a recession, first thing that goes is advertising. That's how they make their money. Google, you're seeing a lot of big hits on Google. Great companies. They also have other divisions, other businesses. They'll survive. They'll make it, but you don't have to rush into anything. Wait for your price. Look for good levels. Wait for good PE on the companies. Build out those portfolios. But just because it's a good company that is down a lot still could mean that you're overpaying for that company. So just keep that in mind. So it makes stressed people feel better. Yeah, see, that's cyclical, right? So in a bad market, people are like, I'm just gonna eat the cheesecake and have the Coke, and then you buy the Pepsi, you buy diet, it makes you feel better psychologically speaking. I'll buy diet Pepsi. But all of those things, they'll play in, and then as soon as we start getting better again, people are back at the gyms, and we buy all the gym stocks up because they gotta now shed their recession weight. So it's crazy. In the age of gaslighting, sugar is good for you. Taco Bell is healthy. I don't care what people say. That's a good choice. They're thinking outside the bun. So all my people in YouTube, I've got some good news and I got some bad news. What do you guys want first? You want the good news or you want the bad news first? Sammy says bad. Well, the bad news is it is just about that time. I got to let you guys go in YouTube land. I have to. I just don't. I don't want to. They make me. I'm forced. I'm a hostage here. I don't have a choice. Sorry. But you guys could also hit that like button. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. And for the good news, I did just save a lot of money on my car insurance by switching to Geico. So that is the good news of the day. Otherwise, markets, a little bit of inside day. We'll see what happens. There are some good gaps out there, but don't get too comfortable. We do have CPI tomorrow. Make sure that you guys are paying attention to that. That's 8:30 a.m. Eastern tomorrow that comes out. That is the much bigger number. That is the number that will move the markets. And again, this entire market right now is a big, giant pile of oil that honestly could just be on fire at any point. That's my opinion. Take it how you want to. Be safe. I'll see you guys later in YouTube land.